So good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Robert Castells. So this is a very special work, a collaborative work that is going to be on 9 Thursdays from October and November. And tonight is the first episode. This first episode is the MIDI music that I have composed, which does not yet have any electroacoustic and does not yet have any soloists. That will be added in the next episodes and has tonight also the MIDI music and the film specially created by Tejas Ewing, who sits here on my right. Hello, Tejas.
And by Deepesh, who's in a different room.
Yes, and Deepesh.
He couldn't join us tonight because of social distancing.
So what have I tried to express musically? I think it's rather simple. The music in the beginning starts in E major, starts easy, everything is fine, everything goes well in life. And then I start to have little notes that are foreign to this, very high register, very low, and I gradually to spread. Well, yes, like a virus. And then we go through 4 storms, and each storm leads to a climax, a resolution, and every storm is worse than the previous one. But it's resilience, so I wanted to finish on an optimistic mood. And I have one melody, and that comes normal at the beginning and then transformed, and at the end again normal. So that's the music concept. In the next episodes, will be every time one soloist who has chosen one part of the whole resilience and who has created in studio his own vision. Like, we are all faced with the same COVID crisis and we all respond in different ways. And the very last episode will be a construction of all the soloists. Again, big piece of music of 19 minutes and 19 seconds. Something about the film?
Yeah, so the way that Deepesh and I approach this is we actually do have footage of every single performer. Every performer improvised in a solo way, but in agreement with Robert and in agreement with the entire group, the idea is to slowly reveal information from beginning to end. So we didn't want to show any of the soloists performing in the first video because we haven't heard their improvisation yet. So the reason that there are 9 videos, I think that's the main thing that I want to get across. The reason there are 9 videos is every video is a progression of the music, the contribution of the soloist, and then our contribution from a video point of view. So each of the soloists who performed, when they see their own piece, that will be the first time that they see footage of what they did. And then in the final video, it won't be similar to the first video you just saw. The final video will be visuals and performances by all the soloists mixed together into a completely new piece. Deepesh, could you talk a bit about some of the visual inspirations, especially the interesting effects that we worked on together?
So from a video standpoint, we were inspired by what Robert had written us something to like his inspiration for the music. So then we knew that the video had to showcase Singapore and all its elements. The effects, on the effects side, for example, there is this recurring motif of what Stages and I call is this kaleidoscopic effect. The reason we use that is it's to kind of represent the feeling of being in a quarantine and having COVID. You're kind of boxed in, you're kind of closed into this environment, which is your home. You're stuck in Singapore in that sense. And as you can see, at the end of the video, the kaleidoscope opens up and reveals Singapore. So that was our visual language that we wanted to say that it's opening up finally, and it's opening up because, pun intended, we were resilient. Yeah.
Yeah, in that respect, like because we all got through it, we're all stronger for having gotten through it. So all the effects lead back to a more open type of video. And I think the music does the same thing. The music goes through the crescendos of discordance and sometimes being overwhelming and ends on a melodic, very open note.
I was very impressed by the video because I had not given any instruction to Deepish and Tejas from I want to see this, I want to see this. So it was total carte blanche, and I didn't even speak about wandering, a journey. But in my mind, actually, in the music, there is a journey, a psychological journey. And I see in the video a recurrent theme of a journey that unfolds. And so that I found very, very touching for myself personally and very moving. All our cast is here tonight. I'm interested to hear, because you are part of this project. You see this video tonight for the first time, but of course you know bits and pieces of the music. What's your reaction? Roberto?
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, I'm Roberto. I'm the flute player in the project. And well, I mean, it was very surprising. I had no idea what the result would be. And still, I don't have a full idea of what's going to be at the end. But Robert, I think you are right. The visuals and the music, they somehow go together very tightly. I think when I was seeing the kaleidoscope, I was wondering, oh, this looks like claustrophobic, like probably it's related to the quarantine. I was not very sure about it, but I think a part of the theme that we are touching, there is this psychological aspect that both the music and the video deal different, but also close, I think.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to the final result. Let's see in the next few weeks.
Bertram?
Hello. Okay, I'm Bertram. I'm the pianist in the project. Yeah, I think it was quite fun to watch the product, the video that was put together. It honestly isn't what I expected. Then again, I didn't know what to expect. All our contributions were really done in kind of in isolation. So this is quite an interesting way to experience working in a collaboration like that. So I look forward to seeing what happens next.
Yes, I should clarify that because of COVID, every performer came to the recording studio, Pavan Studio, one by one, not even in the chronological order of the piece. So none of you soloists have not seen yet, neither have I, what every episode is going to be. Dennis?
Hi guys, I'm Dennis, the percussionist for this project. First of all, I'd like to actually thank the support from NAC, and also it's such a great collaboration with our artistic director, Dr. Castile. It's been a privilege to work with you. Yeah, you know what? I can't wait to see the final product. In fact, I just hope that tomorrow is 26th of November, so I can, look forward to see the final product. So yeah, I think during this COVID-19 period, I think everyone it's not in a very good situation. But however, I think everyone also slowly overcome this pandemic, and I guess it looks like everyone's doing well now. So I'm happy for everyone. So yeah, I look forward for the final product.
Thank you.
And I'll say that Dennis is the next person. So one thing that Robert has done, which I think is quite cool. Number one, none of the performers have seen each other's work. Nobody has been able to see and hear everything in one go. So everybody really has to wait until November 6th to finally be able to see and hear all the music in a particular order, because we're actually launching the videos not necessarily in the order of how they chose the music. So the piece is a 20-minute piece. That doesn't mean that the first person, Dennis, that doesn't mean his piece is the first 5 minutes of the music. Each improvisation is self-contained, so we're able to launch them in any order that we wish. So we hope that people will join the journey by watching every video over the time, and then when you watch all the videos and the final, everything fits together at the end. So it's a bit like a puzzle.
The project also has a dancer and choreographer, Sufri. Hello, Sufri.
Hi, my name is Sufri. I'm a dancer and choreographer for this work. Okay, my response, we had a chat with Dr. Robert at Holland V and talking about this whole project and is the idea behind it. So my initial response is to actually listen to the whole track, the whole 90 minutes. And then for me, it's kind of like which part kind of like resonate to me in a sense emotionally, and also in response to how I felt during this period of COVID. And so I think the process has been interesting for me, even up to the filming process where I'm alone and then, like doing my own things. So and I haven't seen any of the other works from the other artists as well. So I'm actually very, very excited to see the product. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you. Kailin, our violinist, young Kailin, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the video. I was having trouble getting online.
Excited to see.
So I will just say that the video is now live. Anybody can watch it at any time. It's not.
Okay, so for sure after this, I will go check it out. But I'm similar to everybody else. I'm really excited to hear what the other artists have done. It's definitely a very, very cathartic experience for me. I enjoyed playing the segment that was assigned to me, and it was a pleasure to work with Robert, because I was given a lot of space to express myself, which is a very rare and a very precious experience. So thank you so much.
It's true that when I imagine the project and I'm going to give space and I'm going to do this, okay, it's fine. And then sometimes I had to control myself during the collaboration, not to start to intervene. If I say I give space, then I must be consequent and I must give the space. Then next to me, we have Sabrina Zuber, mezzo-soprano.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. So I am, the vocalist, but actually I ended up with a bit of vocalizing, a bit of text reciting, because we have a text written by the playwright Lorena Tay, and I even dared some body expression. I wouldn't dare calling it dance, because we have Sufri, where it's much better place to call himself a dancer. So when he says that, when Robert says that he tried not to interfere at all, it resonates with me, because he said, do what you want. And this music was 20 minutes, and I had about 4 minutes.
Did I say that? Did I say do what you want?
Yes.
That's unlike me.
And then, yeah, it's very unlikely, but it's what you said. And
Okay.
at the beginning, you are staring the blank, like a writer has to start a new novel, and you look at the first white page and you don't know where to start with. So at the beginning was very confusing, very destabilizing. And then at the end, it just clicked, and it became something very empowering and very free, because coming from a very classical background, both in music and theater, I'm used to have a script and a music score. And I am used to have eventually a stage director that gives guidelines, and you do this and this, and then at this time you say this line, and this time you sing this song. This time it was left into my hands. Nobody helped. Robert, nothing. My vocal coach, nothing. Nobody was there. They were all giving suggestions, like, oh, you could improvise this with voice, or you could maybe listen to the music. And it was very cathartic, as Kay says, because I went through my own experience of how I lived the COVID-19 lockdown and everything else. And I cleansed myself through the project out of the toxicity of this period. And I found my inner space and inner peace at the end of it. So I'm quite happy about it, very grateful.
Thank you. At this point in time, because I see we have very distinguished guests, can I ask Dr. John Sharpley? Hello, John. Your thoughts. I know you have very sharp ears, and we know each other for a long time. So, John, what's your impression?
What captures my imagination is a kind of time release, like Game of Thrones. You know, we hear something and we wait for the next installment, and it creates. What I'm interested to is the space. What is the space between performances? And this time it's a week. I hope I can make it every Thursday. I would like to, and to me that would be a very interesting experience, because how do you sustain something for a week? We have TV shows that do that, serials, but this is something else. It's actually it's something else. And that experience itself, I think, is fascinating. And I'm looking forward to sustaining as much as I can and exploring the space in my mind, because having watched it, it definitely creates an impression. And I'm not sure what that impression is. You know, like a lot of things in art, there are ambiguities and vagaries and things that happen, and you're just taking it in at an instinctive level. My left brain doesn't always quite know what to do with the information. You know, it's often like that. You just get this information. I'm very open to it. And knowing that it's going to somehow blossom and transform. But the difference is it's not in an hour. So how does the mind play with that and change the information? Because it's about memory. Also, it's about how we translate and transduce and transform information. And then we take it a week later. So how far can we stretch? What is the thin line of time and memory of time that we can deal with and still have it as an oeuvre, you know, as a work complete in itself? So I'm looking forward to that. Congratulations to everybody. And I'm looking forward. I know most of the players, so it's also a treat. I just love the idea of watching and experiencing work by my friends and associates.
Thank you, John. So I repeat again that you don't have to only watch it at 8 o'clock every Thursday. After the 8 p.m. every Thursday, it stays on the website of the project, and you can watch it at.
But the premise is interesting of 1 week. I mean, you're releasing it 1 week.
Yes.
So that's your choice. Obviously, there's some kind of consideration in that.
Yes.
Yeah, and like I said, it's for that puzzle aspect. We don't want everybody to get a full sense of all the pieces together until the end. Because in a way, as artists, because we were all separated by COVID, and it's this kind of improvisational collaboration where nobody was ever really in the same place at the same time. I think we want the audience to have that same feeling where you're discovering things piece by piece. And then at the end, November 27th, number one, Singapore is already open. So we're now finally in that same perspective where we can all theoretically be together. And so all the pieces come together at that time. Some people are asking questions in the chat, which is great. One of the questions came through, which Robert will now answer.
Yes, I read the question. What's the main objective of this project? An objective of a project. So, like everybody, I'm faced with a brutal stoppage to any concert life. That is very tough for performers and also for myself. So what do I do? Then before deciding what I do, which is John knows a creative process, you first decide gradually what you're not going to do, and then sometimes it becomes clear. So I wasn't, and this is not a criticism of my colleagues in the creative arts who do this, I wasn't interested in creating music like we used to do pre-COVID in concert, film, and then show. And certainly not build something with a click track. I had a personal, nearly physical aberration for anything that works on a click track, which is again not a criticism of the people who do this. So the objective was to create something which is at the same time takes into consideration the contingencies. We cannot do like before creation altogether. Give space to every one of the participants, and at the same time have in organic unity, because that's the danger that it becomes just a jumble of anything anyhow. And I was also, you will see this and you will hear this if you listen to various episodes, and then we'll compare this, is that from a musician's point of view, to the soundtrack that I composed, I had the response that was more towards the jazz vocabulary. I had a response that was more toward a modal, another response that was more tonal. So for a non-musician speech, that means that we all face the same situation. All the soloists face the same music that I wrote, but everybody responds differently. And of course, I also chose soloists whom I know, I trust, who are creative people. And so in the end, this is my hope that we have created, the answer will be on November 26th, that we have created something that is organic. The next question was, what am I trying to deliver through this project? It is already in normal circumstances, I speak for composers, it's quite an isolated job. It's rare that we can really create something together, unless it is, we come together, I give you a score, you try the best you can, and then we build something like this. In this COVID situation, everybody is even more isolated, but the technological means is there to create something together to transcend that. So I was trying through this project to transcend the limitations, the physical limitations created by COVID, thanks to the technology. The next question is, why improvisation? Is a very good question. I thought if I start to write this, I can write a part, and at the flautist, the pianist, everybody, I can give a score. I thought then then I contradict myself. If I want to express everybody faced with the same situation, everybody reacts differently, then me going to give a score, I'm actually dictating the response of Roberto, of Bertram, of Dennis. So that's why I went for improvisation, but it's not total improvisation. They have a soundtrack, and so it's organized, or maybe not organized, guided improvisation. So that's it's a give and take between organized and freedom. Organized freedom, or that's what I was trying to do.
One thing I will say that from our point of view, Deepesh and I, what we were very excited to do is to try to make the most of this opportunity to screen things live, because that's how performance has to happen now, but to do it in such a way where it's not simply a static video of a performer doing their performance. Our main idea, Deepesh and I, was really this concept that if we have to watch things from home, can we make something which is tailored to the home experience, which is not similar to what you would see if you go to a concert hall and watch performers perform. So I hope that all of the performers find what we've done very interesting. I won't give too many clues. You'll have to log in and watch. But one thing I can say is that even once the performers start appearing, it is definitely not just a static video of a performer facing the camera and doing their performance. So I hope the performers appreciate the artistic license that we have taken. I think they will.
I see another question from John. How much time did the performance have with the MIDI track before recording, if any at all? Of course they had. Guys, how long was it? Was it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yes, was it? Kylene, you remember? Bertram, was it 2 weeks?
Yeah, roughly.
I think the answer is 2 weeks.
Hello, I think we had around 2 weeks since you sent at least the first audio. But before you gave us already the idea of what we were supposed to do, right?
Oh yes, yes.
So we had some time to figure out what was the project about, and then with the audio we had around 2 weeks. That included to choose our favorite part of the piece, and to prepare the impro, and finally to record it, right? So the whole project was pretty quick, I think.
Yes, so that means actually 1 month. 1 month, and I also composed this it's incredible. This year I wrote very little. I wrote a piece in January and then nothing until July, and I was absolutely not depressed. And I have spoken with a few composers, colleagues, friends, and I hear the same story. So, and it's paradoxical because I had an ocean of time suddenly. So that would be the ideal time to spend extensive time in composing. I didn't. It's not that I wasted time. I read a lot and I thought a lot, and there was silence, which is such a precious commodity. But then suddenly, when the green light was given and the grant was given from the National Arts Council, and I really thank the National Arts Council, then it was suddenly as if floodgates were opening, and I wrote this piece in 3 weeks time, which is given the intricacies. I have 42 lines. It's well, for me that is quick. So the composition then was very intense.
One thing I'll quickly say is this National Arts Council digital presentation grant is really a fantastic opportunity for anybody to try something new, which is why we did feel the freedom to not simply show a live performance in a theater and then stream it online, because the digital performance grant really gives us the freedom to use any means that we want to try to engage an audience in a different way. So I think we're especially thankful, not just that they have the grant in the first place, but that the grant is very open and it allows us to use the digital means in innovative and new ways. And hopefully it can be lessons for the future, so that these kind of online performances become something that people look forward to, as well as live performances.
If I may add on this, is a few months ago, a friend who is an expert in digital marketing, we called, he's Italian, lived in Singapore, now he's back to Italy. And he was checking on me, how are you doing with the lockdown in Singapore? We are in Sardinia. We were just exchanging. And I was saying, well, we are shut up. We have a mask in front of the mouth, not only physical, but metaphorically. We are like this. And I don't know, my whole work and my whole program for this year is blown like a soap bubble. And he said to me, have you ever considered digital? And me, as usual, I usually never say never. No, I am not a digital person, I'm an analog person, I said. Then came Robert with his proposal, and I said, why not? Let's give it a try, and now I'm totally hooked, especially for the reason why Tejas was mentioning, that it really gives the opportunity to test and try out different things. So I am happy that I've not been asked to go in front of a camera and sing my beloved Offenbach or Tosti. I'm happy that I've been given the possibility to say, okay, you have 4 minutes 50, see what you have inside. This is the music background, and see what you have inside. And the digital platform made it possible. So I think this is really incredibly empowering. Yeah.
Anybody else who has a question or a thought, really willing to share?
I just wanted to get Deepesh to talk about the fact that we use phones a lot for this project. It's something that we want to encourage more people to do. So if you could say a bit about using phones, especially in the live recordings, that would be awesome. And why we use them.
Okay, so the reason we use phones is, and it made perfect sense for this, for especially for resilience, is because since the whole theme about resilience is like Singapore, usually what would happen for Tejas and I is we go out a lot, we walk around a lot, and we will see things. Then inspiration will hit you, and then having a phone and shooting with the phone is perfect for that, because you can immediately record it and you already have it. So it kind of made our workflow much faster and much more efficient in a sense.
That's actually really, oh, sorry. That's really interesting, Deepesh, because it also means that in a way we were doing improvisation as well. The whole idea of this is collaboration and improvisation. Filmmaking is normally highly planned, but when you have a phone in your pocket, we've heard the music quite a few times. Anytime that we were out walking, and Deepesh lives on NUS campus, so when he was out walking, there's a lot of beautiful scenery or downtown. He could capture something in the moment, which means that a lot of the video itself was improvisational.
Yeah, so to add into that, that's absolutely right. Like most of them, especially this video one, most of it is we listened to this. Tejas and I listened to the track together, and we kind of came up with this skeleton of ideas. But to fill in that skeleton of ideas was actually more improvisational. We both would be walking around the city or in my campus, and I'd be like, "Hey, wait a minute, this is really nice. I'll just take out my phone and I'll record it." And then we'd put it into the software, and then we'd play around with it. Back to smartphones, right? Smartphones have become so, the technology at which the speed at which that they improve is so fast that we actually want to like slowly phase into just mobile filmmaking, because it's much more user friendly, it's much more portable, and it's also that if you look at other forms of art, right, like painting is anyone can do it. The barriers to entry is zero. You can just go and buy a piece of paper, get some art supplies and you can start painting. And that's what's happening with film right now. If you have a phone, you can go out and make your own short film. You can make your own art film. If you're a musician and you have made your own song or your own music, and then you feel like I need to accompany this with visuals, you don't have to find professionals. You don't have to rent out equipment. You can actually go out and do it by yourself. So that's what we, Tejas and I, believe in, and we want to like promote that as much as we can.
Yeah, thanks. That's a great summary. Thanks very much.
Before concluding, anybody else wants to share a thought or have a question?
Okay. Maybe we are all digesting the images and the information that we've been sharing. So let's wrap it up for tonight. I hope you have enjoyed the very first piece of the mosaic.
Mosaic, yes.
It's a mosaic. It's a little mosaic. And we hope to see you next week. Same time, same website. The second part of the second piece of the mosaic will go live by 8 o'clock. And then we meet you again here on Zoom. Same link, whoever can join. Maybe you can note down some questions if you, during the week, you look again at the video that you have seen tonight. Or maybe you are preparing for some more tricky questions. You've been very kind to us tonight. So you can go, you are entitled to be more curious or more indiscreet if you want.
And next week is Dennis Sim, percussionist. You're on. Yes, Dennis. So thank you, Deepish. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you, Kayon. Thank you.
I just want to add one more thing. Sorry. For whoever has any perceptions of how the videos are going to be, all the videos are very different because all the musicians have given us very different improvisations. They've tried to make different styles. So please don't expect that, oh, it's going to be the same thing again. It's not. So we would love for you to join us and week after week on November 26th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepish. Thank you, Sufri. Thank you, Sabrina. And thank you, Tejas. And thank you, all of you. Have a good end of evening. And also we have some friends, Anne from France. So bonjour la France, l'Europe. Hope you are all well. Keep well, keep healthy. See you online next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.